Hey there, this is Andrew, and I have with me Cadence. Hi, Cadence.
Hello.
We are looking at we're looking at, I think, all of the new Shadows cards from Mass Mutation. On a scale of 1 to 10, Cadence, how excited are you to do this?
7.
Oh, really? Oh, I was hoping for does it go to 11, but okay, we'll work on that. Um, so, now,
8.
okay, that's good. Disclaimer: I have my standard 5 questions that I like to go through for any of these. That are like, what capabilities are you looking for from the house? What other house would you like to see next to it on a deck list? What is your favorite in-house combo? What would be your if you could have a Maverick come in? What would it be? If you could have a Legacy come in, what would it be? No anomalies to cover this time because those aren't in Mass Mutation. But we haven't looked through all these yet, so we're going to cover those questions mostly at the end, although I do think it makes sense before we dig in to talk about what we generally look for in Shadows. So, Cadence, what generally are you looking for in Shadows?
Lots of 1 to 2 damage blinking
Mm-hmm.
and lots of amber control.
Yeah, yep. We're looking for the amber control. We're looking for, yeah, sometimes really good word control in the form of damage, plinking. Somebody called that micro damage. I think that's a reasonable way to think of it. Uh, Sometimes you'll get interesting board control effects. I think of Worlds Collide, where we had one that said your opponent can't fight, mostly. One that says your opponent can't reap. Kymor Eclipse, Lights Out, things like that remove stuff from the table without destroying them. Um, you're not going to see a lot of big creatures. You're not going to see a lot of armor. You're not going to see a lot of warding. Maybe some capture, but not probably a lot. Oh, and some like flat out you don't get to forge effects too, which are fun. Shadows probably more than any other house likes. Well, I guess maybe not more than any other house, but Shadows likes some abilities that cycle creatures back into your hand or back into your deck or things like that.
Especially in World 5.
Yes, yep, for sure. Okay, cool. So then let's get into it, and then we'll come back to that question at the end and see if we've adjusted it. Now, you might not know this yet, Cadence. Dark Amber Vault is a card that shows up in all 7 houses in Mass Mutation. So there's literally, a copy of this for each house. Um, it's not a Maverick. It just shows up in each house, and it fits in with the mutant theme going on, or the Dark Amber theme. So it's an artifact and location. It's special rarity, so I don't know. I think it might be a common because it's number 1. And then the special rarity would just mean you get, whatever house is appropriate. And it says after you play a mutant creature, draw a card. That seems powerful. And each friendly mutant creature gets +2 power. +2 power.
This is pretty great just because of the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to Library Access, just less general.
Yeah, especially because it applies to your creatures in all your houses, and also it's going to affect, let's see, creatures in all the houses, and then it makes some of your shadows creatures are going to be big where they wouldn't have been typically. So I think that's kind of an interesting effect specifically for shadows. I wonder if you can have multiples of this. I'm guessing the answer is yes. I'm wondering if there's a threshold for how many mutants have to be in your deck to get this. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
One interesting thing is when you use it with Red Penny, it becomes a lot more like Dr. Escoterra, where you just fight it off whenever you need to. Like
Yeah,
with a key creature, you just fight it off.
because it's bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
now 3 power that you want to kill.
Yeah, you're gonna cycle it and draw. Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Cool. So next up is Bow Nithing. That's a 2-power elf thief. And on play, when you play it, you steal 1 for each forged key your opponent has. And this really is like Dr. Escotera, in that it cares how many forged keys your opponent have, but instead of gaining 1, you're stealing 1, which I think most of the time, 90% of the time, that's better than Dr. Escotera's effect. Seems strong.
Mm-hmm. Also, weirder, some mostly better version of Huggermugger.
Yeah, it doesn't have the elusive.
It doesn't sound like the table as long.
But it is a strong effect. All right, you go ahead.
Demo Thief has elusive and destroyed steal 1, which is this in some ways I think it's an upgraded version of this using Umbra.
Yeah, so actually this is part of, you'll see this, for each house there are 6 of these, and notice it's a special rarity. So there's Demo Thief. Thief is all the ones in shadows are going to have Thief on the right side. So then the 6 are all kind of a melding of the Thief with a creature from one of the other houses. So there's going to be a Dino Thief, a Robo Thief, a Lyco Thief, etc. The Demo Thief is the these shadows melding. So I think this is identical to Umbra Fiend. Umbra is the left side of shadows that shows up in other houses' cards, and Fiend is the right side of Decis. So I think they're roughly identical, or they're pretty close anyway. But yeah, 2-power Mutant Thief, elusive, and destroyed steal 1, which is solid.
That's what we already said about.
Right, and again, these are common, but which one of the 6 you get is going to be up for grabs. So that's my guess. I haven't done anything to double check this, but my guess is that a card with Thief will show up as often as another common, like Bow Nithing. You'll get as many whatever thieves as you do Bow Nithings, statistically, but each Thief card will show up 1/6 as often because it'll be random between them. That's my guess at how that'll work. All
right. Dark Wave has an Amber Pip, and play deal 2 damage to each non-mutant creature.
Is an action. Yep. So it's like Poison Wave, but only affects non-mutants.
Which is good and bad.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I guess there aren't a lot of mutants outside of Mass Mutation. There are some, but there aren't a lot. So, against Coda, AOA, and Worlds Collide decks, this is basically equivalent to a Poison Wave.
And this is definitely linked to Poison Wave in its design.
Yes, for sure.
It references the other card in its flavor text.
Yep.
From totally tubular to significantly less tubular.
Right. A quote from Quixo, who's back in the set, but we won't talk about that too much in this video. All right. Next we have Francis the Economist. Economist is in quotes because I think that's a euphemism. He's not really an economist. And he's a 3-power elf thief with skirmish, and fight, each player gains 1. That seems good. I like that. We'll see what scaled steal effects there are.
Yes.
This kind of thing is better if you can turn your opponent's Amber Gain against them, but it seems good. I like him.
Somewhat similar to Brand.
Yep. Cool. Next up is Gamgee, who is back from Age of Ascension. Gamgee is a 2-power elf thief with elusive, and Reap, if your opponent has more amber than you, steal 1. I still think Gamgee is probably a reference to Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, but I'm not sure. So if somebody from FFG wants to clarify that for me, that'd be great. I don't totally get the tie-in if it is there, except for the nice, elven cloak thing. Yeah, and Gamgee's one, it doesn't fire as often as I would want.
It does not. Look over there. Play. Right, has an action, when you play it, deal 2 damage to your creature. If it is not destroyed, steal 1.
Nice.
It's very good. It's both amber control and planking.
Yeah, and where it's interesting, it has the dinos in the art. I feel like Relentless Whispers is something that is harder to play against dinos. You gain the it's if strictly speaking, I think Relentless Whispers is a better card than this or Nerve Blast, right? Because you get the 2 damage, the steal, and an extra amber pip. So in the best case scenario, at least, Relentless Whispers is better. However, when you're dealing with a bunch of warded creatures, Look Over There is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
This mug has an amber pip. When you play it, choose a creature, move an amber from that creature to your pool, and deal 2 damage to it. After that effect.
Yep. And that is back from Worlds Collide. But it's a really nice card. Yeah.
It's not something you're very sad about.
Right. Sometimes it's nice for pulling amber off of that you captured on the creatures. Sometimes it's just 2 damage. It is important, like Cadence was alluding to, you as of now anyway, the current rule interpretation, you can deal damage to a creature that doesn't have amber on it. So, but this is also great. One of the great veins of Shadows is Odoak. Mug is a great way to pull the amber off the Odoak, even if you can't kill it. All right. Next up is Mutant Cutpurse, who is a 3-power mutant thief, and Mutant Cutpurse has enhanced 3 damage. So as a creature itself, Mutant Cutpurse is pretty boring, literally just a 3-power body. But those 3 damage pips are going to go on some cards in your deck, and then when you play them, you'll deal the damage.
More plink.
Yeah, more plink, exactly.
It's really, really nice for getting rid of wards.
Yep, great anti-ward tech. Sometimes good for dealing with that Restring Dentist or something like that. So nice stuff. Ooh.
Next is 3-power Cyborg Thief with Elusive and Reap. Use an enemy artifact as if it were yours. This card is back from Call of the Archons. And were they Zoom Worlds? I don't remember.
I don't think Nexus has been in anything since Coda. And I'm excited to see it back because it's a really strong card. It's one of those, if you're running an artifact, sometimes it's dead. It's just a 3-power elusive body because you don't have any artifacts. But if you do have artifacts, man, it is so annoying to see the Nexus out there.
Yeah, it's something that's going to make it so that you can protect the creatures that they don't know that you have something for. Like, if you have, I don't know what creature, but if you have a creature that you want to keep out because you have a combo in hand, having the Nexus out will make it so that they're basically forced to take care of it before anything else.
Yep, becomes a high priority target. Okay.
Opportunist. Upgrade. This creature gains elusive and has play. This creature captures 1 amber from its opponent.
So this is cool because it works like I mean, it turns almost any creature into the equivalent of a Hugger Mugger. Man, giving some creatures elusive would be really strong. I'm thinking of like your Odoax, your Brackus. Yeah. Oh yeah, anything with taunt becomes really annoying with elusive. So yeah, an upgrade that gives a creature elusive. Cloaking Dongle was always great that way. Although Cloaking Dongle, it's almost better to sometimes put it on the creature next to the taunt creature, but still, this is fantastic. I think more than I'm excited to get some of these Shadows cards with Saurian in a way that I wasn't quite so much about Worlds Collide Shadows.
It also works with Mug.
Yeah, totally.
Mug and Legacy.
Yep. Rad Penny is a 1-power mutant thief, so this is the mutant version of Bad Penny, and so much better. I mean, Bad Penny, just in case you've been not around, it's been every expansion so far, but Bad Penny was 1-power human thief, 1-power human thief with destroyed return Bad Penny to your hand, and there's some combos that could work well with it, but generally speaking, I just never saw it doing really good work. Rad Penny, on the other hand, has play steal 1, which is awesome, and then destroyed shuffle her back into your deck. So you're gonna see her again and again and again.
And with the friend play decks, and one of them they have 2, one with a play effect, one with an enhance, and Mind Over Matter, which archives all the cards or all the creatures.
It was good. Getting to play this 3 or 4 times throughout the course of the game is going to be really nice, and it's a common, so you're likely to get more than one in some decks. Seeker Needle is back. Seeker Needle is an artifact and a weapon, and it has action, deal 1 to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, gain 1. Great way to put the Rad Penny back into your deck.
Also, back from Coda.
And I don't think has been around since Coda. Yeah, and this will be interesting to see how this. I mean, this is great for dealing with hordes too.
In general, you're not to add Coda cards in later sets. At least in Shadow's case. Shoulder. I'm not. Okay, it is. 6-power Spectre creature. Has taunt. Can't fight. When it would deal damage, you steal 1 instead.
Okay. What one other Spectre creature exists?
Shadow Self.
Yep. So if you did happen to get Shadow Self next to this, Shadow Self would not soak the damage.
But it would be a great combo.
It would be it would be a good combo. But wait, did you read the text? It can't fight. Oh yeah, when it would deal damage, it steals instead. So it does not deal damage, but it'll steal. Yeah.
That's when it's attacked.
Yep. 6 is not super high, so I'll be interested to see how often this works out. You probably get 1 steal off of it. Maybe if you're lucky, and you might not get any.
Unless you get a ward.
Oh yeah, if you can ward it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, or if you could put Hazardous on it or something, that would be cool too.
Subtle Auto is a 1-power mutant thief creature. It has play, your opponent discards a random card from their hand.
Yeah. This one's interesting to me. We get the continuation of subtle means your opponent discards a card, which is true of Chain, Maul, and apparently Auto. Also, apparently, there's a Norse contingent among the Shadows elves, so that's interesting. I also wonder if some of the mutant cards that we're seeing in Mass Mutation, we're going to see non-mutant versions of later, Well, yeah, I'm sure, right? Auto was hard to spot even before he grew Chameleon skills. So I'm guessing Auto is going to show up in some later set as a non-mutant.
I think he may have been seen as just one of the generic elves, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He has a distinct look with those little. Oh, I guess those are his ears. They look like horns. All right. Tempting Offer. This is an interesting one. It's an action with a bonus amber. It enhances for a capture. So some other card in your deck is going to get a capture icon. And its play effect is return an enemy creature to its owner's hand. If you do, your opponent gains 1. The if you do is interesting because that means if you do this to a warded creature, they don't get 1. So interesting way to deal with wards.
Overall, with the enhance, it works as an exalt, which is okay. You also gain an amber from it, which makes it fine. The definitely returning an enemy creature definitely helps.
And then Vandalize. This is one I have not seen before. So this is an action with a bonus amber. Its play effect is look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, discard 1, and put the others back in any order. So this is like a reverse Lay of the Land. Seems good.
It definitely helps accelerate.
Well, yeah. Well, what do you mean?
It discards a card. You can then focus on one house.
Oh, yeah. I think one interesting thing here is obviously they're going to get the worst 2 cards of the 3, but it also means that you know not what they're going to have on the next turn, but what they're going to have on the turn after that, right? So they're going to take their turn, and then they're going to draw the 2 cards probably that you put back on top, which means that you have now some intel. You know 2 out of 6 cards in their hand, right? Which is good.
Bottom Venom is upgrade with an Amber Hip. After this creature is used, deal 2 damage on it. Deal 2 damage to it, which came back. I don't remember which set.
It was an AOA. Okay. Yeah, this was one of the first, other than I think Coda had Caller of Subordination, but this was the first upgrade other than that I saw and was like, oh yeah, this is you put this on your opponents, obviously.
Booby Trap is an action with an Amber Pip. When you play it, deal 4 damage to a creature that is not on the flank with 2 splash.
This is great. That's a lot of damage coming out of shadows. Of course, they have to have 3 creatures for it to work, but it's really nice when it goes off.
Definitely helpful for when they have a big board in like Saurian or Brobnar with a taunt creature.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, and by the way, we're out of Vandalize was the last common. We're into the uncommons now, and characteristic for Keyforge, you're going to see like most of the commons are going to be new, some of the uncommons, and then in the rares we'll see a bunch returning. Although I'm excited because I think we'll get them kind of returning from all 3 of the other previous sets, along with some new ones. But they do kind of front load the new stuff into the commons so that we see new stuff a lot, and it feels different than other sets do. Okay, Borrow is an action with a bonus amber, and after you play it, you take control of an enemy artifact. It's amazing. While under your control, it belongs to House Shadows instead of its original house. That's great. It's like Snack Lifter, but in action form.
It really is not much different.
Yeah, would you rather have a Pip or a 2-power creature? I think the Pip is probably better.
Yeah.
But the only circumstance where it's not, I guess, is there are more cards that don't let you play actions, right? There's Scrambler Storm was an uncommon, and then Stealth Mode is a common, so this is a little more susceptible to that compared to like Life Ward, which is not going to happen a lot.
Something that's really nice that comes into play, or if you get it ready.
Yep.
And in shadows, so you just immediately get to use it.
Yep, exactly. Same as with Snake Lifter, but yeah, it's a fantastic effect. Boss Zarek is a 3-powered mutant thief with enhance capture, 3 capture icons, and each friendly creature with amber on it gains elusive. I probably want to capture something onto her just to ensure she's elusive and hard to deal with. But I'm just imagining this with a Saurian board and how devastating that would be.
Especially with if you're I don't know if it's in Mass Mutation, but getting City State interests. That's just no.
Yeah. It looks to me like she's dealing with maybe a passport forging operation or something like that. But I like to imagine her sitting across from old Bruno because their effects are, linked with the elusive and the capture 3. And they both have this sort of like elder statesman thing going on. So I wonder if they're meant to be opposite each other, but I don't know that they're necessarily playing a card game together, but I like to imagine that they're interacting somehow.
Fidget is a 2-power fairy thief. Has elusive and discard a random card from your opponent's archives or the top card of their deck. If that card is an action, play it as if it were yours.
Very nice. Not as nice as Merkins, but pretty cool.
Back from World Slide.
Yep.
I'm actually able to get someone to use Keyhammer from my archives.
Oh goodness, that's silly. That's what we call a real bait and switch.
Lights Out is an action with an amber pit. Turn 2 enemy creatures to their owner's hand.
This is great. It's so good against Saurian. I love it.
There's one downside that I've had to deal with, and that's that it's not up to 2. So if you don't want to return like a Dust Pixie.
It's bad when your opponent has 2 Infernus's on the board.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure. Gotta hold it or figure something out. Okay, Lucky Dice is an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item. It does show 2 dice on the art, which I'm thankful for because I don't like when people say dice when they're referring to 1. But anyway, it's an item. It has Omni, destroy Lucky Dice. During your opponent's next turn, friendly creatures cannot be dealt damage. That's crazy. That's so strong.
It's like a potion, except for it's even better.
Yeah, it's like potion vulnerability, but it works on your opponent's turn. Now, they could still destroy the creatures with a non-damage, method, but still, that seems so strong. And it's Omni. Oh, seems good. Well, I mean, imagine having this on the board and you do a Callipygian Ideal tribute Lucky Dice. Yeah. I mean, it'll be rough. Okay. And then Masis Asp is back from Coda. This is a 3-power beast with skirmish and poison. Really nice for some of that board control.
This is just a nice card to have because what's that? They have a taunt creature with 2 armor.
Yeah.
In front of 5 amber Callipygian Ideal. Oh, Masis Asp just killed it in 1 hit.
Yep.
Also really useful for against Light of the Archons.
Because you get around the armor and kill it. Yeah, even if it has a Light of the Archons with 1 of their upgrades, you're still gonna hit. Yeah. Yep, it's solid.
Miasma Bomb is an artifact. Has enhanced damage and has action, destroy Miasma Bomb. Your opponent skips the Forge a Key step during their next turn.
So, and interesting, there was just a rules update that was, we got the Chinese version, but somebody translated it. It looks like there is a step 0 now, so there was some confusion for a while about whether skipping the Forge a Key step meant you also skipped start of turn effects, which I'm wrong about some things. This is something I was right about, so I'm going to gloat. But I thought that was crazy, and anyway, it wasn't true. So there is a start of turn still happens.
Well, yeah, start of turn and end of turn. End of turn is already a separate thing because it's not like during your draw phase or ready phase.
Right, it happens after step 5. But now, anyway, start of turn happens before Forge a Key, but you do skip Forge a Key. So very similar effect to Miasma. This is interesting to me though because most of these cards, I feel like they kind of mimic the whatever other version of them pretty closely, but this, instead of a pip somewhere, this has a damage enhance. So that's interestingly different.
I think I'd honestly prefer regular Miasma over this, just because you have it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
If it were Omni, I think this would be a great card.
Yeah, I agree. If it were Omni, it would be better, but it's okay.
Old Bruno is a 3-power elf thief. Has elusive and play capture 3.
Also back from Coda.
Hmm.
And I had theorized at one point that maybe even Boss Marek was the mutant version of Old Bruno, but obviously not the case. Because here he is in his full gluttonous splendor. Perplexing Sophistry is back from AOA. This is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, after you play it, if you have more amber than your opponent, they discard a random card from their hand and you draw a card. So rewards you for being ahead.
It also goes nicely with the amber pip just because that can get you ahead.
Yep, for sure. That can push you ahead, and if you're not, then at least you got the amber and it's not that bad. Ransack is an action. After you play it, you steal 1 amber, and then you discard the top card of your deck. If that card is a Shadows card, trigger this effect again. Trigger this effect again. I think, I got burned so hard by the way they errated bait and switch. I think this means if you keep hitting Shadows cards, you keep stealing.
Yes. They would not be stupid enough to not fix that after bait and switch.
Right. Well, bait and switch, I think, was supposed to work that way. People complained. Mm-hmm. But, wow, that's good.
Is there a way you can easily combo this? Lay the Land is easily very good with it.
Lay of the Land could be good with it, but you're probably going to usually draw the card to Lay of the Land. I don't know. That's an interesting question. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this plays out. It's at least steal 1, which isn't bad.
Mm-hmm. Reckless Rizzo is a 1-power elf thief with elusive. Actions deal 2 until the start of your next turn. This Rizzo gains elusive. Elusive.
And the steal 2 is strong, right? But it's just you're more likely for it to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. If you steal 2 with it and then it dies, you're pretty happy, I think.
I don't think this is the best card, just because it has 1 power. Stuff like Yancy Gang is very nice because it has 5 power and action steal 1, but it doesn't have the elusive.
Yep, for sure. But you only have to hit this once for it to be really good. So yeah, we'll see. I like it.
Safe House is an artifact with an amber pip. It's a location and has action archive a friendly creature from play, which is just really good.
Yeah, it's really good if you have the right creatures to go with it, right? And I think it's actually nice with play effects from out of house too, because you're able to return them, and then you can play them the next turn if that makes sense. But yeah, one of the print play decks has it with a couple of rad pennies. It's very good.
The one thing that this is really nice with is if either using vandalism, or if you're about to play board wipe, you can archive a friendly creature to protect it from the board wipe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Spike Trap is back from Worlds Collide. It's an artifact with a bonus amber. It has Omni Destroy if you do deal 3 damage to each flank creature. It's a weapon. It's the reverse of Long Fuse Mines. Yeah, it's solid. I don't mind seeing it. Do we have Brend in here? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. It's really good with Brend. It's fine with Rad Penny too, though. If you throw a Rad Penny at the end to protect your other creatures, do this. That's pretty cool. The Shadowsmith is pretty cool art, pretty cool looking art. A 3-power mutant thief that gives each mutant creature elusive.
It just gives itself elusive.
Well, it definitely gives itself elusive.
Yeah.
But it also gives other mutants elusive.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems good.
Especially with if you pair it with some of the other mutant boosting cards.
Yep. Yeah, there can be a lot of synergy. And again, like there's interesting cross-house synergy going on, which is kind of cool.
I love me some Shadows house cheating.
Yeah. Shadows usually doesn't care too much to help other houses, so yeah, that is cool.
Doom Sigil is an artifact power. Each creature gains poison. If there are no creatures in play, destroy Doom Sigil.
Each creature gains poison. So your opponent's 2. Yikes! That makes skirmish real good.
But what was it? What was it called? Lucky dice.
Right, yeah, you drop this and burn the lucky dice. Yeah, that could be pretty cool. Yeah, this will just be interesting. It makes board control a lot harder to control. I think getting this in a deck with a lot of strong play effects would be, excellent. Getting it with, 5 rad pennies, I'd be so happy.
Finchcloak is a 4-power elf thief. Has Fight Reap. If you have less amber than your opponent, steal 1. Otherwise, each player gains 1 amber.
This is back from Worlds Collide.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt in Worlds Collide like it was.
We are starting on our rares.
Super impactful card, and you're right. The last one, the Sigil and this are both rares.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never felt like Finchcloak was super impactful in Worlds Collide. Did you?
Mm-hmm. It was not really.
Yeah.
So far we've had 3 card effects that can give both players an amber, and nothing that scales with amber.
Yep, that's a good point. Finchcloak, obviously a terrible, terrible pun on Robin Hood. Finishing Blow is back. This is an action with a bonus amber that says destroy a damaged creature. If you do, steal 1. This would be really interesting this will be interesting to have with the what was it? Look over there, the one that does 2 damage and then steals if you don't destroy. Mm-hmm. So you have a really big creature, like one of those really big Saurian creatures. You hit it for 2, steal 1, kill it, steal 1. That'd be a pretty cool turn. Gambling Den is back. Such a weird card. It's an artifact with a bonus amber, and it says at the start, it's a location. It says at the start of each player's turn, that player may choose a house. If they do, reveal the top card of their deck. If it is of the named house, they gain 2 amber. Otherwise, they lose 2 amber. Is that a fidget under the table? I never noticed that before. I think it might be a fidget. But anyway,
this is
so iffy.
This can be good with what's meta remembering the card names. Ransack.
Ransack. Why would it be good with Ransack?
Because it reveals the top card.
So you would know if it's worth playing the Ransack.
Yes. Well, you
possibly just lost too if you got it wrong, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a really fun card.
This is very fun.
Playing mediocre decks where somebody has a gambling den becomes a really fun game. I don't think it's particularly competitive. There's a lot of variance.
Played a reversal game. They played this card, and I got 4 amber off of it. 3 turns.
Yeah, that's how this goes.
Heist Knight has alpha and steal 1 for each friendly thief creature.
What set was this in before?
I have no idea.
AOA. Yeah, it was. But was it different art? No, I feel like somebody would have yelled loudly about this.
While he's figuring this out, this is another good combo for Lucky Dice.
Because you play your cards, you use Lucky Dice to keep them on the board. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can Heist Knight next turn. Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Alphas are iffy, but did we have any alphas in Worlds Collide? Yeah. There were. Okay. Ragnarok, So Salt, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Oh, United Action, definitely. All right.
Was it Diplomacy?
Maybe.
Diplomacy? Oh.
Yeah, maybe Diplomacy. Okay, Imperial Trader is an action with a bonus amber. Its play effect is look at your opponent's hand. You may choose and purge a Sanctum card from it. It's back because Sanctum is back, and that's so cool.
This is a nice card. It's just when they don't have Sanctum.
It's fine if they don't have Sanctum. It's
I guess you get to look at their hand.
Yeah. Can't complain about that. And it's amber. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it can be pretty cool. Look at that. That Sanctum Knight slinking away. Wow.
Johnny Longfingers. It's a 4-power mutant thief. Each friendly mutant creature gains destroyed, steal 1.
Each friendly mutant creature gains destroyed, steal 1. Wow.
So
protect this one.
How does it work? Because his text says he gains that text, so the destroyed effects goes off.
Yeah. If he's on the board and he gets destroyed, he will steal 1.
Okay.
But so do all the other mutants. Yeah, nice to protect this one.
Especially this is nice on Red Penny or with Red Penny.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's insane.
Play steal 1, destroyed, steal 1.
Oh, but if your opponent destroys the Rad Penny, they can shuffle it back into your deck before the steal 1 pops. So it's still iffy, but is this like a play on Edward Scissorhands? Maybe Johnny Longfingers. Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like that's. I mean, of course, it makes sense for a Shadows person to have long fingers, but.
Liam Say, 3-power elf, has elusive. At the start of your turn, you may deal 1 damage to a creature. This is really nice playing, especially for wards.
Yeah.
At the start of your turn is before you play any cards.
Yeah. Before you would forge even.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if your opponent has a creature with Amber captured on it and you kill it before, I mean, there's good stuff that can happen. I think Liam Say is a play on what figure, what person, what famous person?
I have no idea. You just pulled it up.
The folk hero of Switzerland.
You literally.
William Tell.
Yeah.
Who famously shoots an apple off of somebody's head. Apparently he's a poison apple. Anyway, I like that. I like between this and Finch Cloak. And Johnny Longfingers must be I don't know. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, that's a cool effect. Mastermindy is a 2-power elf thief with elusive, and at the end of your turn, put a scheme counter on Mastermindy. Okay, that's a new counter that we have, but
we don't care about those.
Yeah. So like Doom or what's the one on the big one? It's a
Doom counter.
No.
Oh, no, it's not a Doom counter.
The big one doesn't get a Doom counter. It gets
what is it?
Fuse counters.
Okay.
Anyway, at the end of your turn, put a scheme counter on Mastermindy. Action: remove each scheme counter from Mastermindy. Steal 1 amber for each scheme counter removed this way. That's pretty cool. Especially you get her on the board. You play other houses for a couple turns, and then get to action, steal 3. That's pretty cool, and it puts building pressure on the opponent to kill Mastermindy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Master Plan is an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item. When you play it, you put a card from your hand face down under it, and then it has Omni. You play the card under it and destroy Master Plan. Ooh, did that get retconned? I saw Blinking Line posted that some cards got their wording updated when they show up in Mass Mutation. I think this might be one of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I'm probably wrong. Anyway, this is great. It's a good card.
Mm-hmm. Probably my favorite, or definitely my favorite Shadows artifact, just because awesome house cheating.
Yeah.
You can play
flexible.
You can play your second house and your third house because you played your Shadows.
Yeah.
Mole. It's an upgrade that has an Amber Pip. This creature gains your opponent may spend Amber on this creature if it were in their pool. So that's another upgrade that goes on your opponent's creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on their Calipigian.
Yeah, you put it on their creature Calipigian, or just something that has a lot of capture, a lot of amber on it. Put it on their Charette.
Or
options. Alright, yeah, that's what I meant. Yep. Day 127. They still haven't realized I'm not one of them. Wow.
One last job to action with Amber Pip. Purge each friendly Shadows creature. Steal 1 for each creature purged this way.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and the fact that it's not alpha or something like that is like so good, because if you have creatures out, you can use them. If you played creatures, that's fine, and then
this is back from Coda.
From Coda, yep. Pincherator is an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item, and it says at the end of each turn, deal 1 damage to each flank creature. That's pretty cool. That's like a long-term spike trap. And wow, if you have this with your rad pennies, you're just like, play cycle.
Even better if you have like no cards in your draw pile.
Yeah, crazy fun stuff. Sack of Coins is back from AOA. Sack of Coins was in Worlds Collide as well, but it's an action with a bonus amber, and really it's a really nice Shadows card. You deal 1 damage to a creature for each amber you have. And one important thing to remember about cards like this, last rules explanation I heard out of FFG, when you see something like this that says deal 1 damage to a creature for each amber you have, you're dealing individual instances of damage. Now they all get applied at the same time, but that means that if you have 6 amber, including the pip from this, you could deal 2 damage to one creature, 3 to another, and 1 to another. You can split it up that way. You can fan it out that way, which makes it really nice.
This is the first card that I've seen so far that you can use with the ones that make you both gain an amber.
Why?
because you get to deal extra damage with it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the extra amber helps you right away. Yeah, but it doesn't let you do anything mean to your opponent for them having amber. By the way, no too much to protect in this set. I just realized
That's uncommon.
that's interesting. It's it is, but we're in the rares now. So, all right.
Safe place is an artifact. It's an amber pip. You may spend amber on safe places if we're in your pool. Action: move one from your pool to safe place. Back from Coda.
It's better than Pocket Universe
Why is that?
because it has an amber pit.
Okay. Wait, didn't
Pocket Universe does not have an amber pit.
oh it did.
Trust me. But it's not. This isn't great. I don't like either of them.
I mean, it's like barely useful.
Yeah.
Shadowsaurus is a 5 power, 1 armor dinosaur thief.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Action:
It's a 5 power, 1 armor. What?
dinosaur thief.
Dinosaur thief. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, can you get better traits than that? Action: move each amber from an enemy creature to your opponent's pool. Awesome.
That's not awesome.
I'm sorry, that's not awesome.
Unless you have a scaled steel. But okay, but continue.
If there was at least 1 amber on that creature, take control of it.
What?
While under your control, it belongs to House Shadows.
And it comes over ready, probably.
Yeah.
What? That is so weird.
Or, no. It is good. If you can steal, what's the part name? The one that lets you steal too.
Yeah, no, it seems good to me. It seems good to me no matter what. Like there's cool opportunities with it. It's just weird.
Why is it
It's a
Why is it a dinosaur?
So it's like a saurian creature that was like, oh no, I'm on the wrong team. Okay. Smiling Ruth is back. One of the most cyberpunk arts in all of Keyforge, I think. Smiling Ruth is a 1 power elf thief with elusive, and after she reaps, if you forged a key this turn, take control of an enemy flank creature. That's pretty cool. Pretty useful.
That's back to back taking control of enemy creatures.
Absolutely. 2 things that let you take control of enemy creatures, and of course, there's still a way to take control of enemy artifacts as well.
The weirdest board control.
Mm-hmm. Splinter looks very much like the Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Tortoises. And is a 1 power. Oh, and Splinter is a mutant, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So anyway, 1 power mutant thief with enhance 6 damage. It says he doesn't cut any slack. I'm gonna say he probably does cut slack based on the art. Like I don't think there's much he doesn't cut. But anyway, 6 damage enhancements is pretty cool. So
More plink.
Yeah, more plink. Absolutely.
The Shadow Council is back from Worlds Collide. It's a 3 power elf leader and thief. Has elusive, and while the Shadow Council is in the center of your battle line, it gains action steal 2.
Cool story.
Oh, the sting. The sting is an artifact with an amber pip. Skip your forge a key step. You get all amber spent by your opponent when forging keys. Action: destroy the sting.
And who's riding the sting?
Oh, was it Bullet Eye?
Smiling Ruth.
No, okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure which one it was of those 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seems fun. Especially if you can get it out there with some.
This is when you can give your opponent amber. When you're just stockpiling it.
Yes, but it's nice if you can have this with ways to forge mid-turn. Cards like Key Frog is I think going to be good with this, but we haven't talked about Key Frog yet. That's an untamed card. But yeah, I'm excited about this thing coming back. It's such a different card. It just changes the game so much. It's really nice. Okay, on to more of the thieves, and it's interesting. The one shows up as a common, the rest show up at the end because they're listed as special rarity. But I think they will show up as often as the Demo Thief. So this one is Dino Thief, a 4-power mutant thief with elusive, and play you may exalt Dino Thief. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. That seems interesting in Shadows.
I think it's worth a lot. A lot of the time, it depends on what you're using it to kill or no damage to.
Yeah, it's nice that it's a May.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a cool effect. And 3 is a lot considering you have a lot of cards that do 2 or 1. Getting to deal 3 is pretty cool. Also 4 power, I think, because it's a Dino. Lyco Thief is a 3-power mutant thief. So this is the one that is from Untamed, yeah. And Lyco Thief is elusive and skirmish, which that one is kind of boring to me, but
it's really just Knuckles Bolton with mutant.
Yeah, and I didn't like Knuckles Bolton, but it's fine.
It's nice to have.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think if there's it's at least a thief for cards like Heist Night or One Last Job.
Mm-hmm. Sacro Thief, 4 power, 2 armor, and elusive.
So this one would be now. I think the elusive is just common to the thief.
Yeah, I believe it's on all of them. This one is Sanctum.
Yeah, so I guess being Sanctum makes it a little buffer. It gives it the armor.
Yeah, it's a very nice fighting creature.
Mm-hmm.
Techno Thief is a 3-power elusive thief.
Is it what?
Has reap, discard a card from your hand. If you do, draw a card.
That's interesting filtering.
This is a very nice card.
Yeah, it's interesting. A little cycling the shadows is cool. And then we have Xeno Thief. This would be the Star Alliance one. Xeno Thief is a 3-power mutant thief with elusive and fight. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put 1 into your hand and 1 on the bottom of your deck. So wow, that's really good. That's that's similar to like Dilophosaurus or Lay of the Land in terms of the cycling capability. Different,
weird.
But similar. Yeah.
The fight, you want them to have elusive creatures because it's 3 power and doesn't have skirmish.
Yeah, it's not going to do very much, but you can kill 1 or 2, sure. But yeah, it's a strong effect, so it'd be really nice to not have it be getting killed from the fight. Okay, so that's it. That's all the Shadows cards for Mass Mutation. So any would we change our view on what we're looking to get from it? I guess there's an extra takeover a creature card that the Dinosaur Thief. It's just so weird. Like that, I didn't know that was in there. This is the first time I saw it. Like that's Shadowsaurus. Such an interesting card.
I think this is going to be a very high skill cap card.
Could be. Yeah. Knowing when to use it or when not. For sure. Any other capabilities that surprised you? I like the Shadows got a couple of at the end of your turn recurrent effects between Mastermindy and Pincherator. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting, but they're both effects that are not shocking to see. Oh, and Liam Say has one too. They're not shocking effects though. I like the each friendly mutant creature thing, and I really like Boss Merrick's bestowing the bestowing benefits on things outside of shadows is not something there was a lot of in previous sets. I feel like.
I think Looking Dice is probably, it's definitely one of the best ones I've seen. So, and of the ones that we've covered.
Yeah, making your creatures a little harder to kill is like not new for shadows, but this is a totally making your creatures not able to take damage during your opponent's turn is a new thing.
And there's so many things that you can stop damage. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I didn't cover. There are a lot of Shadows effects where a lot of the time they should be affecting you, but either they help you instead or they're hurting your opponent. Mm-hmm. Like a very clear example is Brend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing we didn't really talk about is the, disrupting your opponents, making them discard cards, which you get out of Subtle Auto, Perplexing Sophistry, and Vandalize. But that's not surprising. Like, we've seen that in other sets. So I think one of the things I'm really interested to see Shadows without too much to protect, like in any other sealed set, when you're playing sealed and you see Shadows, you kind of just have to assume your opponent has too much to protect and play around it in sealed. And then oftentimes you're going to see it on their list when you're playing Archon. The fact that it's just gone is really interesting. And I think my answer for the legacy card that I most want has to be Too Much to Protect.
Easily.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue with that.
I think Too Much to Protect is probably top 10 to 5 cards.
It's interesting. I think really good players play around it. And so you'll see it oftentimes less as you get toward the top of events.
They play around it. However, that makes it more difficult for them to stay at high enough.
Right.
Where you can't keep them off.
Yes. So the game impact in those cases is muting their play more so than huge swings. It is definitely a strong card. I'm trying to think if there's another card I would prefer as a legacy, but I think that's just a really good one. It's hard to say for a Maverick because I haven't looked through everything else, but I think I'd be really interested to see a Key Frog in Shadows. Being able to steal and then immediately forge is good because you have that strong combination of Amber control and Amber protection. And Shadows has the tools to kill the Key Frog easily on the turn you played it. So I think that would make a lot of sense. What would you like to see as a Maverick?
Trying to think of the ones that let you. Anything that lets you ready and use any of your creatures in Shadows is just awesome. I currently cannot, or I don't know which ones are in Mass Mutation. Probably because it hasn't been released yet. But
what other house would you be most excited to see next to Shadows on your first Mass Mutation deck?
A lot you can get from all the houses. I think this is probably the best. At least that I've seen.
I'm really, really excited to see like a Saurian with Boss Marek. Really excited to try that out. So I'm going to say Saurian for my answer. And what would be, out of the cards we looked through, what would be your favorite in-house combo?
Probably one that knows.
I'll say, I think for me, the look over there and then finishing blow seems pretty cool. I'd be excited to get that one.
Very, very nice. Probably. I can't think.
Well, you were pretty excited about the safe house with Rad Penny.
That is a nice combo. Doom Sigil and Lucky Dice.
Doom Sigil, Lucky Dice. Yeah, that seems cool.
That seems like a lot of fun.
Give you a turn to amass board state and then go kapow.
Well, you play it. You use your Lucky Dice, play it with a big board, and then just go do a ton of crazy stuff with either a bunch of small creatures or.
It's interesting. You almost are better off with potion vulnerability with the Doom Sigil, because if you burn the whatchamacallit, if you burn the Lucky Dice, they're just not going to attack you on the next turn, right? So it gives you can keep your creatures out, but they're just not going to attack. So, cool. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Shadow Source is crazy. I can't wait to get a deck with that. It's a rare. Well, I will be having one of those at some point in my life. Kings, thanks so much for doing this with me, staying up late and reviewing all the cards. This was fun, and I can't wait to actually get our hands on these. Still like a little over a month out, which seems cruel, but we'll do our best to survive it, and should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everybody, and keep forging those keys.